Baseball is back, and we want to celebrate by slashing the cost of any daily picks packages. That includes a baseball play by 50%, including 5% best bets. This amazing promotion runs from Thursday, April 7th, when 18 of the 30 MLB teams take part in opening day, to midnight on Wednesday, April 13th, and you can get $25 daily packages for $12.50, $29 daily combo packages for $14.50, $35 5% best bets for $17.50, and $39 5% best bet combo packages for $19.50. Whether you never bet on MLB or just like discounts, save 50% on baseball picks for the entire first week of the baseball regular season.
Four.
What's up, guys? It's tea time from Vegas. Another week, but the most important tournament of the year is here. It's Masters Week. I'm Nick Mormon, alongside of Andy Lang, as always, here to talk golf. And, of course, it's Masters. We've waited all year for the first major of the year. And rumor is there may be some golfer that, I don't know, I guess some people have heard of that might be teeing it up this week. I don't know. We'll get into that. We'll talk about that later. Andy, my friend, how are you? Are you as stoked and excited as I am this week? This is just I'm like giddy like a schoolgirl. How you doing, buddy?
Oh man, it's best golf week of the year by far. Like Monday morning, it's like it's Masters week, and then it doesn't stop all the way through Sunday. So yeah, super excited. Great momentum coming into this tournament. Stacked field, incredible storylines. It is just set up for an incredible week of golf. I don't think there's going to be anything like too crazy. It's just the best golfers in the world fighting it out for the best title. So what a week.
I saw something on Twitter right end of last week. It was like, all right, list to do this weekend. Do not watch any Valero. Do all house chores. Do yard work. Rub wife's feet. Take dog out. See, and next week you get all the green lights to watch the Masters. I showed my wife that, and she slapped me, so it didn't really work, but I thought it was pretty funny. But it is exciting, man. It is definitely a great time, and I can't wait to get into it and break it down with you. Before we get to that, as always, let's take care of a little business here. A couple promo codes available for this week. It is Masters20. We'll take $20 off this week's package for either Andy or myself. Normally priced at $39. You can grab it for just $19. Or if you want a little bit more from Andy and myself, you want to spend 30 days with us, Masters 50 will get you $50 off the regular price of $99. So basically half off. For just $49, you get 30 days, all golf plays from either Andy or myself. So head over to WagerTalk.com to check out either one of those packages. But definitely at least for this week, join us for the Masters. Before we get into this event this week, we always want to start off with what happened last week. And, of course, it was the Valero Open. It was, the lead up before before any major is never really that exciting. But there was some stuff that happened. So let's talk about it. Andy, let's talk about your best bets. Let's talk about your worst bets. What are your highlights from last week?
Kept it simple. Only had 3 bets and cashed all of them. My best bet was Kevin Streelman Kevin Streelman top 40 at plus 100. So that was the play of the week. 4%er cashed it. So it always feels good coming into the Masters off of a winning week. So we've done good the last 3 or 4 tournaments. Really catching our stride. Worst bet, I didn't have one. 3-0. Once I saw I was going to have a good week, I decided no daily bets. Just take the 3-0 and run. So that's what I did. It worked out great. How about you?
That's awesome. 3-0 is always a good week, no matter what you're doing. I had a very quiet week. I did have 4 outright selections. None of them were JJ Spawn, so I guess my outrights were not on par this week. That's okay.
You didn't have JJ Spawn in there?
Listen, I had. You know what sucked is I had McNeely. He was 3 shots back going into Sunday, which 3 shots, okay, but you got a chance, right? He shot +6 in the first 10 holes. Like what? I mean, it was over before it even started. Then somehow Keegan Bradley got into contention, but really I didn't have much of a chance come the back 9 on Sunday. But that's okay. That's what happens in the outright world. I did take one other bet, which I previewed last week's show, which was Adam Hadwin, top 20 plus 175. So that was my one win and my best bet for the week. So we move on. It was a quiet week. We both knew we were going to be quiet because this week is full of action. As always, let's start off this week. Let's take a look at the strokes gained data. The graphic we always start with, of course, is the top 10 strokes gained over the last 6 months. And I mean, obviously, this list is loaded with everybody you would expect. You got Cam Smith leading the way, followed by JT Scheffler, who, of course, just seems to win every other week. Hovland, Burns, Cantley, Rahm, McIlroy, Henley with a surprise appearance in there, Fitzpatrick, and Tiger Woods at plus 0.00 strokes gained over the last 6 months. But hey, I'll say this. We have to give a growl every time we mention his name. Mandy, maybe this will surprise you. Actually, it probably won't. Tiger Woods' strokes gain numbers are better than Bryson DeChambeau's coming into this week. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Don't bet DeChambeau, okay? Don't be that guy. Let's talk a little bit about the course in the tournament. I mean, this is the one course I don't think we have to go into too much depth with. If there's a course everybody knows something about, it's this one. But it's always fun to talk about anyway. So, Andy, let's go to you. What should we know this week about either the course or the field?
I would say most know this course well. If you haven't researched the 2 holes that they've altered and lengthened for this year, just go ahead and look those up. It just makes it a little bit tougher. It takes one of the par 5s and makes it just a little bit harder. So they've lengthened it up. I think the weather is going to be an issue, taking away some length. It's going to make it just a little bit tricky. We definitely are going to talk about the weather here in a little bit, but you don't get a lot of roll out of the ball. They cut the grass a certain way to where when the ball lands, it just kind of stops in the fairway. Par 5 scoring is huge here. Approach is huge here. So you have to be accurate off the tee, and you just got to be able to dominate those par 5s. You just have to. If you're going to win this year, I would think you need to be -4 to -6 on the par 5s. I think it's going to be tricky, and I think that's where a lot of the scoring is going to come from.
It always is. I mean, every year Tiger's strategy was here. It was just, birdie every par 5 and then make par around the rest of the course, and you're probably sitting in the winner's circle come Sunday. So definitely the par 5s are what you have to pay attention to. There's a couple trends that I think everybody should be aware of heading into this game, from a betting perspective, of course, is the most important, I think, is while everybody, I guess we could all argue that, the parity in the golf world right now as far as how many good players there are and who can win on any given week, while that's very, very true, at Augusta, nobody outside of the top 30 official world golf rankings has won the Masters since 2009, which was Angel Cabrera. So in the last 12 years, it's been somebody within the top 30 rankings that comes in here. So, it's not like there's a chance for a huge long shots to come through this week and pull out a crazy type of win. I guess there always is, but it's unlikely, at least if history tells us anything. So do pay attention to that this week. Of course, first-timers generally don't play very well here. Willie Z was, of course, an anomaly last year, finishing runner-up in his first time, but Sam Burns is one of those guys this week who is a first-timer. The last time a first-timer won was Sweet Fuzzy Zeller back in 79. And, of course, we know his comment he made about Tiger Woods, but we won't get into that. And, Andy, you mentioned the weather, and we were having this little sidebar about the weather, trying to, yesterday we were talking about, all right, let's take a look. We know there's going to be some wind going on this week. What else is going on? So I did dig into it a little bit. I want to see what you think about this. So the weather forecast right now is rain, a ton of rain leading up to Thursday. So I don't even honestly know if they're going to get the par 3 in because it's supposed to rain a ton on Wednesday. That being said, it's supposed to clear out for Thursday, which would leave the course generally soft for Thursday, and the wind slowly kind of picks up throughout the day Thursday, and then it's pretty sustained Thursday afternoon into Friday. So my thinking is that perhaps that Thursday morning group, soft conditions, the wind isn't quite there yet. It might start to pick up in their later part of their round. But I feel like those scoring conditions could lead to an advantage. Of course, then they'll have the afternoon wave on Friday when the wind is the strongest. But it doesn't seem like there's much difference between the wind Friday morning and Friday afternoon. So I'm trying to find something on the who's got the advantage in the draw, but I think it's got to come Thursday morning. But that's the weather. What are your thoughts on the advantage on the weather draw this week, if any?
Well, when you're doing your handicapping, the whole reason this came up was, I've been beating this drum about how Hideki Matsuyama just got unbelievable break with when the weather came in. And I think what happened with the weather last year is it gave guys a big advantage. So when you're looking at some of the handicapping and you're looking at numbers, you're going, well, this guy, well, he missed the cut at this tournament. And well, I went back and looked. So there was a massive advantage, Nick. Last year, the top 3 all teed off before 11 a.m. on Thursday. 7 out of the top 9 finishes were Thursday morning groups. The only Friday afternoon tee times that made it in the top 9 were Jordan Spieth and Justin Rose. So be careful when you're looking at past results like recently. Some guys just got a raw deal. We saw it earlier with Shane Lowry. We saw it at the Players, like just a huge, weather advantage. So when you're looking at last year's performances, I really think you should look up some of the tee times and see if there was a reason why a certain player didn't do good. But to learn that all top 3 and 7 out of top 9 finished in the AM on Thursday tells you that the weather can have a really, really big effect and a really big advantage for some guys. I'm with you. I do think Thursday mornings will have a little bit of advantage. Not nearly as big as last time, though. But definitely check the weather and make sure you check the weather on Wednesday night if something crazy happens and something moves in overnight. But weather, not a thing that a lot of people talk about at the Masters, but they probably should.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I didn't mention, another advantage, I guess, to the Thursday group is that Wednesday overnight low is 66 degrees going into Thursday. So that's pretty warm going into those Thursday morning tee times. Then you get into Friday morning where the highs are in the 40s, which actually holds true Saturday and Sunday as well, but we're only talking about the advantage between Thursday and Friday. Those temps can play a factor too. So you got some cold temps on Friday and the wind, all day long. So I think that it just further, I guess, strengthens my position on thinking that Thursday morning does hold an advantage of this thing. But you never know. We'll see how it plays out. Before we get into our best bets and breakdowns for the tournament, I mean, we have to talk Eldrick, right? We have to talk about him. So I guess the announcement right now is that he's planning on playing, unless, barring a setback, I guess, which, the golf world is in a frenzy. And I know we have some differing opinions on what might happen this week, and that's okay. I don't like you right now, but I will forgive you. So what are your thoughts on Tiger's chances this week? What are you thinking you will be doing? I mean, avoiding him, betting on him, fading him? What's your thoughts this week?
Well, I'm going to have to look and see how his 9 hole. He wants to play 9 holes tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Yep. We're recording this Tuesday night. So he wants to play 9 holes on Wednesday. We'll see what the weather is. And then we just kind of wait for an announcement. I haven't seen a ton of bets on him, but I will get into him later. He is involved in my best bet for the show. You're excited, and I think you have high expectations for him, right?
Well, I'll say I'm not expecting him to come out here and win. I'm sure he is. He's not going to play unless he thinks he has a chance to win. But I'm excited as hell. I mean, who isn't? I'll watch every damn shot he plays. If that's only 36, it's only 36. But I do think he makes the cut. I mean, this is one course where he's made his comeback, before. I was in an argument earlier today with somebody at the golf course. And I was like, yeah, but he almost lost his leg. I'm like, yeah, well, that's overplayed. It was a fender bender at most. He's fine. This is just all drama. So, he's done this before at Augusta, where it was his first tournament back, and he's never missed the cut here. Is he going to be necessary contention on Sunday? I don't have the highest expectations there, but will he be there on the weekend? Right now, I mean, you're talking standard even money, or minus 110, minus 115, something like that. I think it's worth a play. I know you will disagree on that, but I think, he has it in him to get through it. It's just a matter of his body holds up. So maybe those first 2 days, if that's really, the worry here, and that it maybe as he goes on, he gets more tired and his body's, legs, whatever, are weaker as the week goes on. All right. Get me to the weekend, and then don't expect much there. But I like the bet, at least right now, on him to make the weekend. But like you said, let's see what happens on Wednesday, and we'll readjust as necessary. I reserve the right to change my mind, but right now I do like Tiger. Listen, I'm just excited he's there. That's all. I mean, the whole golf world is. So if nothing else, it's something to talk about, and I can't wait. And hopefully we see him if this goes well. Hopefully we see him as often as you expect to see Tiger on any given year, which is about half a dozen times. So, all right, let's move on. Let's talk best bets for the week. As always, I'll start off first with an outright play that I'm looking at, and it's listen, there's probably 15 guys that you can easily make an argument for. They're the best players in the world. Scheffler to me is just he's hard to avoid this week, and he's 17-1 at FanDuel. It's hard pressed for me to leave the best player on the planet off the week this list. I mean, he's won 3 of his last 5 starts, and that's the key here. Is the guy is proving that he knows how to win, and he's doing what he needs to win. One of them was the match play tournament, of course, a little bit different format than regular, but you still got 2-stroke play event wins there. And then you got guys like Spieth, JT, Morikawa, DJ, and McIlroy, all with odds equal to or worse than or lower than Scheffler, which I think is just an insult. I mean, he's the number 1 player in the world for a reason. I think he should have the lowest odds, but maybe I'm wrong there. But I think he's got decent value of the favorites. Lastly, I'll add that Augusta is a place he needs some experience, of course, and he does have 2 starts here. Both of them are top 20s, and a tie for 18th and tie for 19th. So with his form now, I can only expect that to improve. So if you like Scheffler or maybe want to play him in another way, you can look at it like a leaderboard bet, top 10 around plus 140 right now, but I do expect him to be in the mix come Sunday. Andy, we'll turn it over to you. I always like to hear who you are avoiding this week. So guys that can trip you up, who are you not going to be playing this week?
I've been good in this segment the last few weeks, and I kind of nailed it last week. I said don't play Rory McIlroy. He missed the cut. I said don't play Neki Matsuyama. He just withdrew. He just played around and was like, peace. And then I said avoid Davis Riley. People were going to see the second place finish his last tournament. And what did he do? He finished 63rd. So I did pretty good on those. So, all right, let's go for guys that can trip you up this week. And I'm not going for the low-hanging fruit like Bryson DeChambeau or, guys like that. I want to go for big names that really, really I think you should be cautious with. And Tiger Woods is my number 1 guy on players that can trip you up this week. Nick, he can hit shots on the practice range.
Exactly. You hear him roaring? Do you hear that?
The knock on him is that he's going to have trouble walking the course. Walking is a prerequisite for golfing. I find this hard to believe. He's 8,500 on DraftKings. That is insanity. And the best thing about this is you're just going to have all the public money in the world coming on all of his props.
Of course.
He is the most overvalued golfer maybe ever this week. Maybe possibly ever. We're almost a year away from removed, and literally they almost removed a foot. So it's a miracle he's teeing off, but no, the Tiger Woods should not be any of your lineups, and we'll be betting against him. So second player I'm going to avoid. I'm going to avoid Xander Schauffele. I think he's going to trip people up. I'm starting to really lose faith in Xander. He only has 1 top 10 finish this season. He's coming off a really bad performance at the match play. He missed big shots and putts when he needed them. It was really bad that he did not come out of that group. In 2022, he is 41st in strokes gained approach and 29th in par 5 scoring. He was 16th in putting last season and is now currently 64th in putting. That's not going to win the Masters. You can't be bad at putting and par 5 scoring. I just don't think he's going to finish in the top 10 in the Masters for the 2021 season. Schauffele was tied for 3rd in par 5 scoring, so he's dropped from 3rd in par 5 scoring to 29th, and he was 14th in strokes gained approach. Now he's 41st. That's too much regression in a loaded field. A couple of shots here or there is a difference between missing the cut and having a chance to do some damage on Saturday and Sunday. I think Schauffele is a little bit overrated. People are going to flock to him. So Schauffele, I think, can trip people up. And finally, I think Patrick Cantlay is going to trip people up this week. He finished 17th in the Masters. That was in the fall, but he missed the cut in the spring of 2021. So that means he's missed the cut in 2 out of the last 3 Masters that took place in the spring. He was not great at the match play. And before that, he had that crazy putting streak. I think the putting streak has started to regress. He's not hitting those 10-footers and 12-footers. He finished 33rd and miscut the previous 2 tournaments here in the spring. Before that, two tournaments in 2022 for that 3 top 4 finishes and 4 tournaments. So he's getting worse, not better. I will not be betting on him. He's overvalued. He's overpriced. And I would love to bet against Patrick Cantlay in a juicy head-to-head matchup.
I'll second your second and third choices there, but not that first one. It's just not in my heart. I can't do it. I just can't do it. It's just not in my blood, in my heart. You know, there was a time. You get enough of that. There was a time when Tiger Woods was minus 110 to win the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Minus 110.
Him or the field.
Yeah, it really was every single week. That's just insane, and he won. I mean, he won 7 straight times. I mean, it was just insane what he was doing. But I just can't. I've never bet against him in my life, and I won't do it here. And I get you. I hope you're dead wrong, but I don't want you to lose. But I hope you do. All right, listen. I want to throw something at you because I was thinking about this as you were talking. Head-to-head matchup: Tiger Woods versus Bryson DeChambeau. Who you got?
DeChambeau.
Wow. Really? Now you're just an ass.
I just want a guy who can walk the course.
Well, Kenny, I know he's got the wrist problem. Maybe he can't walk either. I don't know.
Yeah, we just went over how it's going to be cold and windy. That's great after just in a traumatic auto accident.
Only Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He gets off to that 3 under Thursday. He's got a Thursday morning tee time. 3 under on Thursday.
I will take worse than 3 under on Thursday. I'll take worse than 3 under on Thursday.
You're no fun. You're no fun. All right, I digress. Let's move on. I'll go to my next outright play. And before I get into this one, I want to preface something that for those of you that were shopping outrights early this week, as I always do, FanDuel had some just fantastic numbers up there on Monday and even Tuesday morning, but they are gone. So I do want to preface that as the price that I took Berger at this week and release it as one of my plays was 85 to 1 because I thought it was absolutely ridiculous. He's now in the 50 to 1 neighborhood, which is about where he probably should have been and where a lot of the other books had him. So the 85 to 1 is no longer available on FanDuel, but I still do like him. He ranks number 21 right now in the official golf world rankings, which I mentioned. As long as you're in the top 30, you're going to be somebody to look at from me. He's got 4 Masters appearances under his belt. His best was a tie for 10th in 2016. So he has a little course knowledge. He doesn't have great history here, but he's got the course knowledge. But he's obviously better now than he ever has been in the years prior. He ranks 5th in the field in strokes gained tee to green over the last 6 months at plus 1.65 per round. I saw something else on Twitter where 7 of the last 9 winners were plus 1.7 over the 3 months coming in. So he's right on that cusp. He's coming off a disappointing 4th place finish at the Honda where he had a 5-stroke lead heading into Sunday and then just shit the bed. So, that's weighing on him a little bit. But he did rebound with a nice finish at the Players, finishing tied for 13th. So hopefully that's a sign of him forgetting about that, moving on and looking for his next opportunity. So I think Daniel Berger will have a good week. I do, like I said, mention that, some of the value, at least from the FanDuel price, is gone at 85 to 1, which was just insane. But 50 to 1 I still think is worth a little bit of money on Berger. I think he's going to have a good week, and we'll see what happens. But Daniel Berger as an outright play, top 10, he's about plus 280 right now, which I think is another way to back him up on your outrights this week as well. All right, Andy, DraftKings darlings, you've been just as good here with some low-price guys finding those gems that fill out your lineups quite nicely. So who are you targeting this week at DraftKings?
I have been good at DraftKings the last couple of weeks, which is normally not my forte, so I'm feeling good this season. Traditionally, I've been really bad. I even debated whether or not to even do the segment this year, but we're doing good. And I'm actually going to include 3 DraftKings lineups in the package at WagerTalk.com. So when you have a major, you can go a lot of different ways. So there'll be like stars and scrubs, there'll be middle of the road, and then there'll be like against the grain where you put a bunch of guys. If the tournament gets weird and all of a sudden, on Sunday it's Tony Finau and Bryson fighting it out for the win, you might be able to cash big on some of those. But let's go over some DraftKings darlings for this week, guys that I think are really, really underpriced to build a lineup. Then I'll show you my favorite lineup for this week. So I'm going to start with Kevin Na. It's only 6,800. He was awful at the Arnold Palmer, but he came back and finished 9th at the match play. Looked good doing it. finished 12th and 13th the last 2 Masters. That is 7 made cuts out of the last 8 Masters he's played in at 6,800. If he can get any weekend points, this is a steal. You get anybody to major at 6,800, you get points on the weekend, boom, you're on the road to cashing. Next one, I'm going to do Siwoo Kim, Siwoozy, 7,100. He withdrew from the Players. That was a bad weather, but besides that, he's made the cut in 14 out of 15 tournaments, including a 13th last week. That makes 8 top 26 finishes in 11 tournaments. Sneaky good option here. This is going to surprise everybody. 12th, 34th, 21st, 24th. That's his last 4 finishes at the Masters. This guy is really good, and he's only 7,100. Again, you get points on the weekend, and you get a top 25 finish from him. You've completely outkicked your coverage on this one. And finally, the biggest value on the board is Corey Connors at 7,600. 35th, 3rd, 35th, 3rd, 26th, and 11th. His last 4 tourneys he's played in, and ho hum. He's finished 8th and 10th the last 2 Masters. This guy's a top 10, just rolling in top 10s, and he's only 7,600. So your 3 DraftKings darlings for this week are Kevin Na, Siwoo Kim, and Corey Connors. So I'm going to build my lineup, and I'm going to start with them. That gives me enough money to throw in Matthew Fitzpatrick, who is a made cut machine at the Masters, and he's having a good year on the PGA Tour. And Nick, that gives me enough money to put in some big name guys. I'm going Cameron Smith and John Rahm. That frees up enough to where I can get some guys that I really think have a great shot at winning. So you find these darlings and pair them with some big guys. That's my favorite DraftKings lineup this week. Kevin Na, Siwoo Kim, Corey Connors, Fitzpatrick, Cam Smith, and Rahm.
For half a second, you're like, and I'm going to throw in some big names, and I thought you were going to say, no. But
he's 85. Tiger is 8,500, and Corey Connors is 7,600.
Max Homa tweeted that Tiger hasn't played whatever, but his odds to win were better than his. He thought that was pretty funny.
Well, Max Homa has never made the cut here, so once Max makes the cut, then
I'm not disagreeing with it. It's just pretty funny to call it out like that. It's very true. I love those darling plays. Those are definitely good finds. Siwoo Kim, no idea he had that good of a history at the Masters. I got to look into these things. Yeah, you got to lead me on to these things. Corey Connors, I guess the only reason I haven't really truly looked at him yet is I'm wondering, now that he had a long run at the match play, then he did play last week, which I was surprised at. So, but listen, he's young, he'll be fine. Let's get into our best bets, Andy. So I'll go first. Mine is going to be Shane Lowry as a top 20 this week.
Love Shane.
Which he's sitting at plus 160. Yeah, I mean, listen, he's just been solid, right, over the last, several months. The only reason I didn't play him in the outright market is because I'm sticking to that top 30 official golf world ranking trend, and right now he sits at 35. So he's not on my outright play, but he is one of my best bets at top 20, plus 160. He's been competing week in and week out as far as leaderboards goes. He didn't make it out of the group play and match play, but that's really his only blemish in quite some time. In his last 7 stroke play events worldwide, he has 6 finishes of tie for 14th or better. His worst finish was tie for 24th. So, it's pretty dang solid for how well this guy has been playing. And the last 2 years at Augusta, he has finishes of tie for 21st and tie for 25th. So right there on the cusp of that tie for 20th. But I would argue he's playing better now than he ever has. He ranks just outside that all-important top 10 strokes gained over the last 6 months metric that we looked at. So we listed the top 10. He is sitting at number 11, but he's number 5 over the last 3 months at plus 2.01 per round. So Shane Lowry, he's hot coming in, got a little history here, top 20 plus 160. I think it's a great price to get him on Sunday. So Andy, your best bet of the week, who are you looking at?
Listen, Shane Lowry has been, I would say I've made the most money on Alex Noren, but Shane Lowry is a very close second for this year. He's just been cashing those head-to-heads, and I really love that one. That plus 160 is fantastic. So, all right, your hatred is going to flow. I feel like you may go to the dark side of the force on this one. My best bet is Tiger Woods to miss the cut at minus 115. I just don't buy this. I think the miracle is that. Yeah, I think the miracle is that he's even going to tee it up. I don't think he'll withdraw, but if it goes bad, I think there's a chance. I think he could be in pain by the end of Thursday, if not by Friday. There's so much undulation and hills and contour at this course, and he has said that, or at least everyone around him has said he looks great hitting the ball, but their worry is how can he handle walking the course. And if you get too many uphill and downhill lies, which they've said they worry about him, what happens if the ball is on a downhill lie? I don't know how you avoid that here. You're going to have to hit balls off of, pine straw, and you're going to have to hit it off of hills, and you're going to have to be walking up and down, and you're going to have some odd stances and bunkers and around the green. I don't see it going well for him. I think it's a celebration that he even was able to make it here. Awesome story, but with the best players in the world, and now we don't even have that 10-shot rule for the Masters in the cut. They got rid of that a couple years ago. That eliminates even more people. It's top 50 in ties, and that's it. I don't see him keeping up with these guys. I think he misses the cut. But to be honest, if he does play 2 rounds and he does miss the cut, that is a big win for him. But I'll play him to miss the cut.
At least answer me this. Listen, I get it. I understand why you're betting against him. I get it. But Tiger, if you're playing this week, say nothing. All right. Yes. Thank you,
You
buddy.
heard it here for WagerTalk exclusive.
Thanks for coming on the show, Tiger. All right, Andy, I want a serious question or a serious answer. If you're all right, money aside, right? I know you got some bets on against Tiger. Money aside, you want him to make the weekend, right?
Not if I'm betting against him.
Well, I said money aside. Come on, I'm aside. What's in your heart?
Okay. Here's the worst thing that can happen is if Tiger squeaks into the cut and then we get nonstop coverage of him tied 49th. That you could have a guy with, make an albatross and they will be on Tiger, scratching his balls on the 4th tee or something. This is how, how this is going to work. We won't be able to see anybody. I want to see guys at the top. I want to see who's winning. I can go back and watch Tiger highlights all day long on YouTube, but I don't want to see hobbled, crippled, oh, my leg, oh, my knee, while he's +8 and 16 shots off the lead. I don't want to see it. Sorry.
Listen, I want to watch as much Tiger as I could. I'd watch him taking a dump if I could. So that's just me. But,
you might get your chance. You might get your chance this weekend.
The sponsors will certainly love if he's there on the weekend. But you're right. They will show every shot all the way through the round and take away. But if he's not in contention, it'll be early. It'll be before the leaders in the afternoon are going off anyway, so you won't miss anything. All right, Tiger.
They will show highlight after highlight after highlight on Saturday. If Tiger makes a cut, he'll get out early, and then while the leaders are playing, take a look at Tiger bogeying the 4th.
Oh, you're no fun. I just want to see the red shirt, man. I just want to see the red. That's it. All right. Listen, enough about Tiger. I love him. I hope he's there. I hope you do well with your bets, except for those ones. On behalf of Tiger Woods and Andy Lang and WagerTalk.com, of course, want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. A reminder of the promo code. We have 2 available, Masters 20. Take $20 off this week's package. Get it for just $19, normally priced at $39. Includes all plays from either Andy or myself for the 4 days, or you can grab 30 days using promo code Masters50. Save $50, normally priced at $99. Get it for just $49. So head over to WagerTalk.com, either Andy or myself's page to check out either one of those deals. Andy, as always, my friend, good talking with you. Thanks for another great show. What are we even previewing next week? I didn't even look. I don't even care. It doesn't matter. Whatever we're talking about next week. Do you even know?
I think it's the RBC Heritage.
Okay, who cares? Thanks. We'll be back again next week to preview the RBC Heritage. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you next time.